sounds like another backstory. I remember when I was looking at so I think when he was about 4 or 5 years old.
Does everyone have
Upstairs.
Everybody have what they need? Okay. The best way we thought we could do this is to kind of just to do some activities. The idea being, if we run through the ways that we use this tool to kind of help us in the classroom, it might make you more creative about how you might do it. So, and we're a little short on time, so we're just going to get through as many kind of varieties of activities as we can and go from there.
All right, let's go.
So, as a way to give quick feedback, create movement, group students help with spelling, you can gamify it, and you can give students space to work if, for example, the textbook you're currently using, wants students to rewrite a paragraph, gives you 2 lines.
Yeah.
So, forming groups for writing. So like I do a lot of group writing as instruction. We'll write a sample essay as a group. So directions, answer yes or no on your communicators. Should high school students be required to wear school uniforms? Write yes or no, hold it up. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, you
Right on the outside.
Yes, you should say, hold them high.
And then use it for grouping by saying something like, stand up and find 2 students with the same answer and write your sample essay. We'll skip that part. We don't have time to write an essay.
Oh, here, Mary, I've got it.
This is actually the first way I thought of using this when I stole these from my wife. It's just to increase student response time. If we're going to do a grammar activity from the textbook in class, students need to do the work. They need feedback, so I'm going to say something like, open your book to page 150, do exercise B, maybe we do number 1 and 2 together, and then you have to do the rest by yourself, and then we have to go back and check answers. So you simply use this to cut out that last step of, then we go back and check answers. So we just say, correct verb usage in the following sentence, hold up your answer. And you'll write out your answer, hold it up, and then as teacher you can like, yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
So nouns arrived on the train yesterday, and then you would write the
Not arrives, it's arrived because of yesterday.
Oh, okay, so what is the keyword? Yesterday.
Okay, now check me again.
Much better.
A plus.
Yep. So, and then you can just eyeball check really fast and move on to the next question. You can gamify that by having students race or not. Your choice, mix it up.
Also, this is really useful if you have students who buy textbooks from other students used with all the answers in it. If you put the sentences up on the board and you have them corrected, even if it's already in the book with their books closed, then they don't see that somebody else has already given them the answers. So this is a way that I do this in my class if students have not bought new books or are trying to slip one by me in some way.
There's always one.
Always one.
So, speaking, grouping, again. Answer the question on your communicators. Do you think crime is a problem in Manhattan?
Kansas?
Yeah, Manhattan. Actually, the other Manhattan actually ridiculously safe for a city of that size.
Yeah, you're right. No, yes.
No, yes.
No. Anywhere. Mr. Younger says no. Tim says yes.
And then, slight modification, different exercise. Find 3 people with the opposite opinion, and and take notes on their discussion on the back side of your whiteboard.
So if you flip that, the reason why the piece of paper is in there is it
So it's
provides
not
something
completely
to write on.
transparent.
And then they can take their notes and write on that together. They can scribble on each other's notes. It makes it a lot easier for them to collaborate.
It's also one of the advantages of the flexible ones over the hard ones. The hard ones are usually brown on the back. Also, as a teacher, let's face it, 15 of these are a lot lighter. So if you teach on a large campus, across campus, it makes a big difference. So you can mix them, you start to get the idea, or you can mix and match how you use them for grouping and what you have the groups specifically do. Speaking class, again, I use a different example. Are there any American traditions that you find strange or interesting? If these questions sound familiar, I stole them from our curriculum. So, these are modules that our students go through. So walk around the room, find traditions you do not know about, and have the writer explain them to you as best they can. So hopefully this is a not such a yes or no question, but one where we'll have, you know, a dozen or so different answers. And you're like, what? What's that? Kind of thing. And they can intermix and more of a paired activity. Okay, so spelling and transcription. And this is a good race or not race one. Spelling here at least is graded in lower levels, and typically on a test we would give a vocab word and then a sentence and have the students transcribe the sentence and spelling of the, not necessarily spelling in the sentence, but spelling of the particular vocabulary word is graded, right? They have to know the spelling. I took a picture out of one of our textbooks here. So like if you list off benefit, one of the benefits of studying at K-State is the is football. So, or
So they strike that in.
so then they have to write the sentence out, spell the vocab word correctly. And then as a teacher, again, that's really easy. Check. Just kind of eyeball everybody. Yes, 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 yes. You misspelled it. It's B-E-N.
Not B-A.
So,
So do you as instructors have your own sometimes to show them what you think? Do you
Yes.
participate?
I mean, it's just like the textbook. I'll usually use my own in the same way, where I always want to do an example. Because for some reason, no matter how detailed you type directions, they are not followed. But if you simply do exactly what you want them to do right before they do it, that seems to work much better than you know, spending a lot of time to carefully write out directions that no one's going to read. Yeah. And then this is.
In my reading classes, I do something that's like competitive vocabulary. So we do a lot of academic word list quizzes where I will give them a piece of paper with 25 or 30 vocab words, and they study it for a week. And then the following week, we practice it regularly in class. So one of the ways that I've done this is I will have the students have out their word list, and they can use the definitions, but they have to write complete sentences that are grammatically correct. So then I will actually give them time to write these in class. I will walk around to each student and then put like a check if it's correct or an X if it's not, but I don't explain what's wrong. So by doing this, they can erase this quickly, and then they can try another word and see, okay, maybe instead of an adverb, I should put a noun. Or maybe I misspelled the word and I need to look at it again. So they can talk with each other, they can ask me questions, and they end up filling this in usually the back as well, doing a lot of good writing work with that. But I either have them do it as quickly as possible or to see how many of the correct ones they can get. Oh yes, this is a lovely example. Many of us know this. This is Understanding and Using English. This is the 150 and 15X, the upper levels writing workbooks. You can't really see this, kind of the point. So this is our writing textbook. This is 3 activities in a row that are speaking activities. And you can see here just like how little space there actually is, and I understand that it's a speaking activity, but you don't always have time to do different speaking activities in class, especially when you're trying to reinforce writing. So I also use these writing boards to instead have them answer the questions so that they don't have to scribble all over in their books and run out of room. So this is one way that I've used. This is chapter 12 noun clauses, which are very important. And they write out the noun clauses and they get that practice, and we can work on those together as a group.
It also helps even some of the writing activities in different textbooks. They'll give you a line or something for the student to write on, and what they're asking for is, you know, a paragraph. You have students like writing halfway down the page in the margin, you know, 2 words, new line, 2 words, new line, 2 words.
You know what else you could do, Jack?
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I've had my students do work on the overhead projector cells. If you could have them do it on this, you pop the sheet of paper out and put it up on the
Yes.
overhead projector cell for everybody to see. If like if they have to write it out. So,
It's a way to share. So for example, with a vocabulary exercise,
yeah.
at the end of that, as a wrap-up, you can really easily do something like that to show work, to bring it back to the whole group. Kind of the purpose of today was just that kind of thing. Get them in your hands, let you see what the tool is, and be creative with it. It's just a tool that's been very helpful in the classroom, especially usually when people talk about new tools, it's you know, a new app or a new piece of software or whatever, and then you're in a room in a building that was built in 1872, and you're convinced they've not updated the electric in that room since the building was built, and electricity was, you know, the newfangled thing. So you're sitting at the PD day and you're like, yeah, great, piece of software. Let me put that in my file for that one semester someday off in the future where I get the good classroom. But questions, comments?
What's the race, not race? How do you do that?
For example, just have your students race to gamify any of the activities we looked at, right? So like any of the vocabulary writing activities or whatnot, you can simply say the first person who gets the correct sentence gets the prize.
I thought you meant race to the board.
Some
of our students would shove each other out of the way. We don't want to get them, so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like paperwork. That's not that kind of paperwork. Please explain this incident that occurred. So, but yeah, just to gamify it.
So, where did you get these, and how much were they?
You want to take that? I stole mine.
Well, I know you stole yours from your wife, but yeah.
I mean, I stole mine from my husband, so.
No, where did you order them from?
We ordered them on Amazon. They came in boxes of, I believe, 40. So, and they weren't very expensive. It was, I think, under $20 per box.
What are they called?
It's gonna be a branded type thing. My set is called Communicators.
Yeah,
They're
these
called
ones, they
Smart
have the-
Pal when you're-
Mine actually have the website or a website on them. So if you have the neon colored ones, they're just called C-Line.
Can you give us the website?
Yes, it is C, the letter C dash line, L-I-N-E. Oh, I should probably write it on the board.
Or use your
Write it on your communicator and share it with us.
Cline1.com.
Yeah.
Oh, Taylor's got it. She beat you. She raced you.
Yeah,
There.
Taylor's got it.
Is the C and the line capitalized?
Yes, they are on this one.
From Amazon?
Yeah, we got ours from Amazon.
And how much did you say they cost, a box of 40?
They were under $20 per box, and we got 2 of them.
Share with somebody else.
And if, since it's Becky that's asking, I have, I think, 45 of them. So at any day, even if I'm planning on using them, but you wander into my office and take 15 of them, I will not know.
Some discount, I would say, have you tried Amazon?
Yeah, they have cheap.
Amazon. And also depends on like the school that you're from. It's like, I know with like Manhattan USD, you can get markers through them, but I don't know about like the other schools and programs, so.
They're roughly $1 each.
Yeah, and because they would be ordering in such bulk that hopefully they would pass that on. And
Yeah, you need the markers.
we would hope.
Yes, it's, I used to work at Sylvan Learning Center and it has the same concept or similar concept. We use thinner page protectors, but this can be used as well. And when you tutor, this kind of page protectors are very handy, or when you have books like we use another set of books for essay writing, because you cannot make copies of everything, or it's not allowed. You can place this page protector right on the top of the book, and the kids during tutoring can write the answer on the page protector. You can check the answer right away when you are done.
I do the same thing with timed readings in my class because we can't make tons and tons of copies for every single week. So I put a printed page of the timed reading and the questions in this, and then they read the reading on one side, write on the other side. They pull the readings back out when we're done, and they give them back to me. And I can use them the next semester.
Writing on, I give them out and say, don't write on this.
And
Well,
they do. They write on it. Yeah.
what a good idea.
Yeah, well, the like Scantron type.
Yeah.
I stopped.
Okay, I think we need to get out of here soon, so we're gonna go through and recollect, and thanks.
Thank you. Good job, guys.